but I thought that they responded. The team responded in the right way, for the majority of the game in terms of coming out, starting fast. Defensively, I thought they played really well throughout, until obviously the end where you put them in a tough spot there. And then, I was pleased with the way that we ran the football early on with the older guys, with the guys that, we expect obviously to be contributing at a high level for us consistently. And I thought Trevor, minus obviously the fumble, was pretty sharp.
You wanted to be clean, no penalties by the starters, and only one in the first half. What you wanted?
Yes. You definitely felt a better sense of urgency of the alignment, assignment, getting lined up. The shifts and motions were clean. I was pleased with the operation, especially coming from what we were trying to emphasize last week. So I was pleased with that. I definitely felt like, we played well enough to win, but in this game, in this, especially in preseason, you see some crazy stuff, and I'd like to be able to finish the game the right way.
You mentioned the running game. You had some real moments in the first couple drives.
Yeah, I was pleased with the way that we were coming off the ball up front. I thought without Chuma and Anton in there, you didn't feel a huge drop off up front. I know it wasn't their starting defense playing, but we did move the ball the way you would expect them to against anybody's second unit. But Tank and Etienne, I thought both had some really nice moments. So did Tootin and LeQuint. I thought all four of those guys actually had some really nice moments.
Where do you think Trevor is in terms of thinking through this offense and playing through this offense at this point?
Yeah, I thought this game was another step in the right direction where you saw him clicking through progressions again and getting to his third and fourth reads a few times. I thought we protected him really well up front, which allows a quarterback to do those things. And also when you run the ball effectively, it also takes some pressure off the quarterback. So I was pleased with his outing tonight. Obviously the one fumble is a tough one because you just got to eat that. It's a great learning moment for him, especially in the red area where you already have points. So when you have two turnovers in the red zone, when you already have points, those are tough ones when you end up tying a game.
Parker Washington shows up almost every day.
He does. He just consistently keeps competing at a high level. Like it's every day he makes a play. Every day he's in the right spot at the right time, working his tail off. I love his play energy. He doesn't really fatigue that much. He's in great physical shape. I've been very pleased with Parker.
It's an interesting week for you guys, just the way you did practices. There's a lot of talk about that. How do you feel about the whole thing now that it's done?
Yeah.
And did you get what you wanted through all of that?
Very much so. I think you had a very physical week of practice, and then they came out and played physically, and they also played smarter in a lot of ways. So I definitely believe that this team responded in the right way from being challenged post-Steelers game to coming out having one of our better practices at training camp this week, then having a little bit of a uglier scrimmage, and then you come out and you start fast and the ones and twos, I feel like, for the most part, really competed at a higher level than maybe we had, and there was no question that they were trying to play physical.
How valuable have these 2 weeks been just being put in situations that are game-like, even the end?
Yeah,
right?
It's huge. Oh, it's great. You go and, okay, they get the 2-point conversion. You got 20 seconds left. You got your timeouts. You hit a seam ball down into the plus territory. And, man, you feel like you're right back in it, and you got a great chance to go win the game. We're running all slants, a play to just maybe gain 5 yards. We're in a down timeout situation. It was communicated. Those guys were on it. It's just, hey, credit them. They made a good play on the slant. Ball gets tipped up in the air, and I was just praying that there was no time left on the clock because, it would have been a bummer to lose that game. Hey, you never want to not win, obviously, but the situational football that does show up for us, and another one before the half where we end up having a 2-minute drill that goes to the cross the 50. We get a good completion. We got a slow clock at 4 on the timeout and executed that at a high level. So you felt like some good stuff did show up for us.
Do you think
upstairs to down here, or
Much
doing
better.
the things that you want to?
Much better. Yeah, much better from last week. Much improved communication from last week. Felt a little less chaotic, just on the sidelines and the headsets up top. Felt like the players felt that as well, in terms of being able to just be nice and calm and play the call, get their cleats in the ground, and go communicate and play. So I do believe it was a step in the right direction.